Hi, my name's Rev'd Tracy Browne, and I've been asked to give my view on the Black Lives Matter and as we are in Black history. But before we do that, I'd like to read a piece of scripture to you. And it's Matthew 22:36-40. Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest? He said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbour as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So we know as Christians we love God and Jesus Christ with all our heart. And I know I do, and I'm quite sure that you do as well. However, loving our neighbour is where maybe all of us can get things a bit wrong. So in regards to Black Lives Matter, it's just really interesting because Black History Month has been around, I think, about 30 years now. And it was started because the voice of Black people was not being heard, but also we weren't being celebrated in any way. And so it was started to celebrate and honour Black people of the past and of the present. Now with Black Lives Matter, it changes it slightly, because although we're celebrating Black History Month, Black Lives Matter is about, we're celebrating now and we're looking at what's going on now. We know throughout history Black people have been treated awfully, and we know that it still continues, and we see that in the videos that are passed around. But the thing is, everybody's shouting all lives matter, and you are right, all lives do matter. However, until Black people, young and old, can feel confident that when going shopping they will not be followed by a security guard, when walking past somebody who that the person won't snatch their handbag away like we're going to take something. And these are simple things that happen every day within our social lives that create hostility and upset within the Black community. But there's also things like when we hear of another death on the television, you kind of I hold my breath. And when it's not a young person or man or woman who's Black, I actually am relieved, because I know that as a Black person, you will hit the media quite quickly for doing something wrong, and possibly not for doing anything right. At the moment, the media is saturated with Black figures taking part in advertisements, in programs, leading shows, and I think this is beautiful. But what I'd like to say to you is that as Christians, every day we need to be talking about Black Lives Matters, because God says to love your neighbour as you love yourself. And I know I love myself, and I choose and I love my neighbours. And my neighbours are not just those who live around me, but they're far and wide. My brothers and sisters, as Christians, I love you all. And I'd like us to just think about what we as Christians are trying to achieve within this world. And if it's peace, then we as ourselves need to put ourselves straight before we can expect others to be living peacefully. And if we continue as Christians to use Jesus' words about loving ourselves and loving him, we will then be able to say as Christians that we worked hard with All Lives Matters. And when we as Christians promote Black people within our churches, not just as welcomers, but also as readers, and also as deacons, as I am, who have gone through the training. So I'd like to say thank you for welcoming me into your church, and I hope the little bit that I have said may bring questions to your mind about what we as Christians are doing to make Black lives really matter for black people and for everybody.